Great, let's move forward with practical TypeScript topic section. So now let's dive into asynchronous programming in TypeScript. Asynchronous programming is crucial for handling tasks like reading from a file, making HTTP requests, or querying a database without blocking rest of your program from running. TypeScript makes it easy to work with asynchronous code and adds type safety along the way. First, let's look at typing promises. A promise is a placeholder for a value that will eventually be available but isn't yet. In TypeScript, we can type promises to ensure that the value the promise resolves to is the right type. For example, when you use a promise to fetch data from an API, you want to ensure that you get back a specific type of data. Let's take a look at how to type a promise that resolves with the user object. In this example, the getUser function returns a promise of type user. This means TypeScript knows that the promise will resolve to a user object which has an ID and a name. You could also handle errors, ensuring that your code is robust and that the type system helps prevent mistakes. Next, let's discuss async iterators. An async iterator is a way to iterate over asynchronous data one piece at a time, like reading a file line by line, fetching pages of a result from an API, or processing data as it streams in. You can use an async generator function to create an async iterator. Here's an example of an async generator that fetches data in chunks. In this example, fetch data in chunks is an async generator that fetches data page by page from an API. Every time we call yield data, it gives us the next chunk of data, and the for await of loop can be used to consume those chunks. Let's see how we can use this async generator in action with a for await of loop, which allows us to iterate over this asynchronous data. Here, the for await of loop will iterate over each chunk of data as it becomes available, and we can process it immediately. Type must have this method. The problem is async iterators are a very new concept relatively in TypeScript. The target that we have set in our tsconfig.json does not support it, so we need to change it to 2018 or higher, ECMAScript 2018 or higher. So let me select this and see if the error goes away. And yes, it does. Perfect. Right, moving on. One of the great things about TypeScript is that it can be integrated with third-party JavaScript libraries, and with TypeScript, you even get type checking for those libraries. To make this possible, we use type definitions. Type definitions describe the structure of a library's API and provide type information so that TypeScript knows what functions exist, what arguments they take, and what they return. The most common source of type definitions is the DefinitelyTyped project, an open source community effort where developers contribute type information for popular libraries that weren't written in TypeScript. Type definitions from DefinitelyTyped are published as npm packages under the @type scope. So when you install something like @type/lodash, you're getting those community provided types, which TypeScript can pick up. Let me show you how. So here I'm installing Lodash library, which is a purely JavaScript library, but its type definitions are published under the @type/Lodash to npm. So we can install those type definitions like this npm install save dev. Here @type/Lodash is the type definition package for Lodash. After installing it, TypeScript will recognize the types of Lodash functions, giving you IntelliSense and catching mistakes like passing the wrong argument types. If you ever need to check whether types for a particular library exist, you can always go to npmjs.com, which is the main repository for most of the npm packages you install from using npm install command, and search for @type/library name, and you would find type definitions for most of popular libraries here. In the next video, we are going to explore the solution to the problem where you are trying to use a JavaScript library for which types don't exist.